Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Nar from the Nar Report, back today with another episode. This is episode 45 of the Nar Report, and I just want to start off by saying thank y'all for all the love and support y'all have given me over the past 3 years. All right, because if it wasn't for y'all, I won't be doing the Nar Report today. So I just want to thank y'all for all the love and support y'all have given me. Here on the YouTube, subscribers are growing every day. Keep sharing my YouTube, keep sharing my podcast. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow the social media platforms on Instagram and TikTok at _NAR_report. All right. And in today's episode, I'll be recapping all of the week 5 NFL games. There were a lot of surprises now. So I'm going to get into that and give y'all my week 6 NFL predictions and go over the Monday night game from last night between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, let's go ahead and get it started. Starting off with the Thursday night football game, we got the 49ers beating the Rams 26-23 in LA. What a game this was. Battle for first place in the NFC West. 49ers got the job done. Let's talk about it. In overtime, too. Phenomenal game, back and forth going along. Niners were up by 14-0 early in the first quarter, and then the Rams came back and made it a ball game. So what a game this was. All right. Great game overall. Mac Jones continued to prove everybody wrong. And I'm just go ahead and say this right now. Make Mac Jones the official starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. All right. Whether Purdy is healthy or not, Mac Jones needs to be the official starting QB. All right. Because this man went off on Thursday night. 33 for 49 for completion attempts, threw for 342 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. What a game by Mac Jones and the 49ers. The offense was great. The defense was successful. All right. The running game was elite. Christian McCaffrey had a great game. Ran for 57 yards, no touchdowns. McCaffrey also had a receiving touchdown as well, too. So shout out to the 49ers for getting that win. And the defense stood up in overtime, too, getting that 4th and 1 stop on the Rams. But, man, let's go right into the end of the game. Rams down 3. They're driving the ball down the field. It's 1st and goal. They score a touchdown to try to take the lead. But all of a sudden, Kyren Williams, you cannot fumble the football like that, my guy. You just can't. He fumbles the ball. 49ers get the ball. They go through and out. Rams get another chance. And then they drive down the field and kick a game-time field goal to send it overtime. Now let's go to overtime. 4th and 1. Rams need a first down to potentially win the game. All right? Because if they get the first down, they scoring a touchdown on that drive. But they run it with Kyren Williams up the middle. He was stuffed. Niners win. I feel like they should have had the ball in Matthew Stafford's hands. Okay, because Stafford was balling. Okay, he was balling. He had a great game. 30 for 47 for completion attempts, threw for 389 yards, almost threw for 400 yards. 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. I would have had the ball in Matthew Stafford's hands. But I think the Rams beat themselves because the play calling time was not it. They should have had the ball in Stafford's hands. And I would have set up the game with a touchdown play for Puka Nacua. All right. That's how I would have done it, though. But otherwise, though, what a great game. All right. I'm proud of what both teams did. Okay. But otherwise, though, one player I like to talk about, Puka Nacua. This man is a top 10 receiver in the National Football League. I don't care what y'all say. Probably one of the best receivers right now. 12 targets, 10 receptions for 85 yards and 1 touchdown. Kyren Williams had 2 receiving touchdowns as well, too. Hey, the Rams came ready to play. This was a battle for first place in the division. Man, it's crazy because everyone picked the Rams to win this game because the Niners were hurt. All right? The Niners were hurt. But then the 49ers said, you know what? They proved us wrong. And they got the job done. But that's it. Niners went 26-23. Next up, we go to the Sunday game. Starting off in London with the Minnesota Vikings defeating the Cleveland Browns 21-7. in London. What a game this was. Back and forth going along. Browns had the lead. They were up 3 in the final 2 minutes of the game. Vikings, Carson Wentz drives down the field, and Jordan Addison with the game-winning touchdown. Carson Wentz had a great game. 25 for 34 for completion attempts, threw for 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. He was great. Jordan Addison, shout out to Jordan Addison with the game-winning touchdown. He had 6 targets, 5 receptions for 41 yards. Justin Jefferson, great game. 11 targets, 7 receptions for 123 yards. Offensively for the Vikings, they were great. Defensively, they came ready to play. For the Browns side, they played a pretty good game. Dylan Gabriel went perfect in his debut, 19 for 33 for completion attempts, threw for 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. All right. David Njoku had a touchdown, 9 targets, 6 receptions for 67 yards and 1 touchdown. All right. So the Browns played a pretty good game, though, but it just wasn't enough to get the job done against the Minnesota Vikings. And that's it. Vikings win 21-7. Next up, we go to Baltimore with the Houston Texans blowing out the Baltimore Ravens 44-10. The Ravens are now 1-4 this season. It is now time to hit that panic button if you are a Baltimore Ravens fan, because that was on the schedule. All right. I really thought that Cooper Rush was going to come into the game and get the job done, but all of a sudden, they just lost. I don't know what happened, but the Ravens, this is not their best start so far of the season. They're 1-4. I know they're banged up on injuries. Lamar's hurt and all that stuff, but next man up. All right. Now, if y'all would have made it competitive, I get that, but y'all got blown out 44-10 against the Texans. And to be realistic with y'all, the Texans are not that much of a good football team. Okay? And I'm just keeping it a buck. The Texans are not that much of a good football team. All right. Quick shout out to my guy, Mr. 411 for 411 Sports World Network. Make sure y'all check him out on Instagram, TikTok, and the YouTube. All right, at 411 Sports World Network. Instagram and TikTok is Mr. 411. All letters, no numbers. Yeah, this was a tough loss for the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to get into that game shortly. And, man, I picked the Seahawks to win, but a good game overall, though. The 2 receivers went off, JSN and Becca Buka. It was a receiving clash, a quarterback clash, but great game, though. And he also says Cleveland defense let them down. Yes, that defense at the end let them down because the defense played great all game. The Browns have a very good defense, but it's just at the end, they just couldn't get the job done. They let the Vikings drive down the field, score a game with a touchdown. But back to this Texans and Ravens game. I ain't going to explain that much, but the Texans just played a great football game, okay? C.J. Stroud, the offense looked great. The defense was sensational. Cooper Rush had a solid debut, Baltimore Ravens debut. 14 for 20 for completion attempts, threw for 179 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. We're going to ignore those 3 interceptions, but he played a solid game, all right? And Derrick Henry finally scored a touchdown. It's been a while since he scored a touchdown. He ran for 33 yards, 1 touchdown. This wasn't King Henry's game. This hasn't been the season so far, but later in the year, he's going to bounce back. All right. And that's it. Texans win 44-10 against the Baltimore Ravens. Next up, we go to Indianapolis with the Colts blowing out the Raiders 40-6 in Indianapolis. I'm not going to say this much, but Colts, great game, offensively and defensively. The Raiders suck. Okay? The Raiders are trash. I'm not going to explain much about the game. Geno Smith, another horrible game, my guy. 25 for 36 for completion attempts, threw for 228 yards, 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Geno Smith has now been playing good for the Las Vegas Raiders. Daniel Jones had a bounce back game, 20 for 29 for completion attempts, threw for 212 yards, 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. JT, 3 touchdowns. Probably the best running back in the league right now. Ran for 66 yards and had 3 touchdowns. The Colts played a very great game offensively and defensively. But that's it, though. Colts win 40-6. So the games that were technically a blowout, I ain't gonna explain that much. Okay. Next up, we go to New Orleans with the New Orleans Saints getting their first win of the season against the New York Giants, 20-14. Let's talk about it. Man, Giants, y'all beat yourselves. Those fumbles, Jackson Dart fumble the ball. Nobody even came that took the ball, fumbled the ball from him. He just lost the ball and the Saints recovered. Scottaboo, that fumble lost y'all the game. Okay, that fumble lost y'all the game because it was 14-19. The Giants were driving the ball down the field. Scottaboo fumbles the football and the Saints running back for the touchdown and makes it 26-14. That play won them the game. Okay, I'm realistic with y'all. That play right there won the New Orleans Saints the game. And Jackson Dart played pretty good. 26 for 40 for completion attempts, threw for 202 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Spencer Rattler, he has been playing pretty solid for the Saints. 20 for 30 for completion attempt, for 225 yards, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. But the Saints, though, shout out to the Saints. They got their first win of the season. But that's all, though. Saints win 26-14. Next up, we go to Carolina with the Carolina Panthers defeating the Miami Dolphins 27-24 against the Panthers. Man, Rico Dowdle went off. Okay. Miami Dolphins were up 17-0. I thought they were going to run the Panthers out of the stadium, but Panthers said, hold up. Y'all thought this was over. Nah. Bryce Young turned up. The offense turned up. The defense turned up. Man, in the first half, Carolina was not great at all, but they played great in the second half. So let me point out this. It's not how y'all start. It's how you finish. Okay? And that's what the Carolina Panthers did. They started off slow, and they came back and won the game. Bryce Young, pretty good game. 19 for 30 for completion attempts, threw for 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interceptions. Rico Dowdle ran for 206 yards. Yes, I said it. Let me say it again. Rico Dowdle, 206 yards. That man went off in a touchdown. Okay? Rico Dowdle ran all over that Dolphins defense. Dolphins played a pretty good game, though. Tua was great. 27 for 36 for completion attempts. Threw for 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. If I don't get a notification from Bleacher Report or ESPN saying Mike McDaniels has been fired by the Miami Dolphins, it's going to be a problem. Okay? Mike McDaniels, you're out of Miami. But that's all I got to say. Because how in the world you go up 17-0 and then, you know what? I'm not even going to say nothing else. The Dolphins suck. All right? Mike McDaniels, you need to get out of Miami. And that's it. Panthers win 27-24. Next up, we go to New York with the Dallas Cowboys defeating the New York Jets 37-23. I didn't really pretty much watch this game like that, but I'm going to just tell you what I saw. Dallas played phenomenally well offensively and defense. Well, defensively, they didn't play that good, but they played a great game. All right, Dak Prescott had a great game, playing like a top 10 quarterback, 18 for 29 for completion attempts, threw for 237 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 TDs, and 0 interceptions. One player I like to talk about, George Pickens. He has been going off this year for the Dallas Cowboys, and he's been that number wide receiver 1 since CeeDee Lamb is out with the injury. I love what he's doing right now. I hope he does great things this year with the Dallas Cowboys, and you never know. He could be in the top 10 receiver conversations by the end of the season. And the Jets, though, I ain't going to say much, but the Jets are trash. Okay? Sell the franchise, sell the team, sell the stadium, just blow it up. All right? And that's it. Cowboys win 37-22 against the Jets. Moving on to Philly, we got the Denver Broncos defeating the Philadelphia Eagles in a very great game, 21-17. Eagles were up 17-3 in the second half. Denver came back and won the game. What a comeback by the Denver Broncos, handing the Philadelphia Eagles their first loss of the 2025 NFL season. Bo Nix played a pretty great game. 24 for 39 for completion attempts, threw for 242 yards, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. All right. Defensively for the Denver Broncos, amazingly, the Denver Broncos have a top 5 defense in the National Football League. Okay, because that defense is legit. All right. They got a great run defense. They got a great pass rush, a great secondary, good corners, especially the number 1 corner in the National Football League, and Patrick Surtain. All right. For the Eagles side, how did you blow that lead? I thought I had the game when it was 17-3. I said, man, maybe the Eagles about to run them out of the stadium. They about to be 5-0. No. Denver Broncos came back. What was it? 18 unanswered points? 18 unanswered points. Won in the game. But Jalen Hurts played a pretty great game. 23 for 38 for completion attempts. Threw for 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. For some reason, the Philadelphia Eagles offense hasn't been clicking for some reason. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, but they need to make a change because they're playing on Thursday night against the New York Giants. And if this offense plays how they've been playing, they're in some trouble. Okay? They're in some trouble, but the Eagles are fine. Okay? They're still the number 1 team in the NFC, still the team to be in the NFC East and in the NFC in general. But, hey, you got to take your wins. You got to take your losses. But that's all for that game, though. Broncos win 21-17. Next up, we go to the 4 o'clock games. What a game we had in Seattle with the Seattle Seahawks and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucs win 38-35 on a game-winning field goal. Seahawks, how did you lose this game? I picked y'all to beat the Buccaneers. I was rooting for y'all, but y'all let me down. Y'all just let me down, man. Sam Darnold, what was that interception at the end? That was an unnecessary throw by Sam Darnold, put the Bucs in great field position, and McLaughlin kicks the game-winning field goal. This was a good game overall, though. Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold outdoing each other. Emeka Egbuka, JSN outdoing each other too. Man, Emeka Egbuka is a freaking beast, bro. That man is elite. Baker Mayfield, 29 for 33 for completion attempts, threw for 379 yards, 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Rachaad White, good game, ran for 41 yards and 2 touchdowns. Emeka Egbuka, 7 targets, 7 receptions for 163 yards and 1 touchdown. And I'm gonna lie, when I do my parlays, I'm gonna have to start locking in Emeka Egbuka for a touchdown because every game he played in, he has averaged a touchdown. For some reason, Emeka Egbuka's rookie of the year. Offensively. All right. I'm going to go ahead and lock this in right now. Emeka Egbuka is rookie of the year, and that is the future number 1 wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right. For the Seahawks standpoint, Sam Darnold, he played a good game. 28 for 34 for completion attempts, threw for 341 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Jackson Smith-Njigba, 9 targets, 8 receptions for 132 yards and 1 touchdown. Seattle played a great game. This is more of an offensive game for both teams. Defensively, we're okay, but Tampa Bay's offense was just better. And that's it. Bucs win 38-35 against the Seahawks. Next up, we go to Arizona with the Tennessee Titans and the Arizona Cardinals. Titans win 22-21 in Arizona. Yes, y'all know why I'm making this face? Because how in the world did Arizona Cardinals lose that game? You were up 21-6, and these 2 mistakes constantly lost y'all the game. All right, number 1, you got y'all running back running for a 92-yard touchdown. Hold on. running up the middle. Oh, that's a touchdown. But hold up. No, he fumbles the football on the 1 yard line. That's a touchback for the Tennessee Titans. And then 21-12, Cam Ward throws a pick. But nah, game over then, right? No, fumble the football is kicked into the end zone, and the Tennessee Titans score a touchdown, and then they kick the game-winning field goal to win it. How? Like, this was impossible. I picked the Cardinals to win, but dang, they let me down. Y'all beat y'all. Cardinals just beat themselves, okay? The Titans didn't just beat them. This is more of the Cardinals beating themselves because you had this game, okay? Kyler Murray played a pretty solid game, 23 for 31 for completion attempts, threw for 220 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Cam Ward, what a bounce back game, 21 for 39 for completion attempts, threw for 265 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. But he was driving the ball down the field to get the team in position to win it, though. But otherwise, though, congrats to the Tennessee Titans for getting their first win of the season. Titans won 22-21. Next up, we go out to LA with the Washington Commanders defeating the loss. Excuse me. We go out to LA with the Washington Commanders defeating the Los Angeles Chargers 27-10. JD5 is back. Game 15 for 26 for completion attempts, threw for 231 yards, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. Deebo Samuel has been the big man for the Washington Commanders since Scary Terry is out with that injury. 11 targets, 8 receptions, 96 yards, 1 touchdown. Defensively for the Commanders, played great. All right. But let me say this. Chargers, y'all need something. Y'all need to fix your offensive line. Because ever since y'all lost y'all 2 best offensive linemen for the season, the offensive line hasn't been that great. So I think the Chargers are fine. At the end of the day, they're still in first place in the AFC West. But, man, that was the game that they really needed to keep in control of that division, which is the best division in the AFC right now. All right, though. But Justin Herbert, he played a great game, though. 22 for 29 for completion attempts, threw for 166 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. All right. Quentin Johnson, 4 targets, 4 receptions, and 40 yards. Ladd McConkey finally went off, 1 touchdown. All right. So Chargers did not have a pretty good game, but they'll be back, though. All right. But that's it. Commanders win 27-10. And then the last 4 o'clock game of the evening, we go to Cincinnati with the Lions beating the Bengals 37-24 in Cincinnati. I ain't going to say much about the Bengals, but I'm going to talk about the Lions. The Lions are the biggest threats to the Philadelphia Eagles and the NFC. All right. A lot of people had the Lions taking a step back this year because they lost both coordinators. I said, nah, they still going to be a legit team. As long as they can stay healthy, Jared Goff is their quarterback, and they got Dan Campbell as their head coach, they're going to be fine. Okay? And they did just that. They got the win. Jared Goff, 19 for 23 for completion attempts, threw for 258 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. David Montgomery with a passing touchdown as well, too, and a rushing touchdown. 2 touchdowns in that game. Jahmyr Gibbs, he had a great game. Ran for 54 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, great game. 8 receptions for 100 yards. Sam Laporta had a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs had a rushing touchdown. The tight end and another wide receiver had a rushing at a passing. Those were passing touchdowns, okay? Receiving touchdowns, whatever you want to call it. But those were receiving touchdowns too. Lions played a great game. They whooped the Bengals. And speaking of the Bengals, they have traded for Joe Flacco earlier today. So the Bengals finally got a quarterback. And Joe Flacco, I feel like Joe Flacco will do great for the Cincinnati Bengals. He could save their season. Okay? I'm not saying he is going to save their season. I know I picked this team to win the AFC North, but I would love to, though. But I'm rooting for him to be great on the Bengals to turn, their season around. But they still need to work on their defense, though. Jake Browning, he didn't play good until late at the end. He should have never been playing like that. The way he played in the second half, he should have been playing like that in the first half. All right, because there's no reason why you had 3 interceptions in the first half. All right, but that's it, though. Lions won 37-24 against the Bengals. Next up, we go to Sunday night game with the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. Patriots win 23-20 against the Bills. Let's talk about it. Drake May, great game, 22 for 30 for completion attempts, threw for 273 yards, 0 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. But hey, this was more of a defensive game than an offensive game. But otherwise, though, Rhamondre Stevenson's 2 touchdowns. All right, ran for 14 yards too. So nothing much from the passing game, but the running game from New England was successful. Drake May had a pretty good game. He didn't have to do much. And Stephon Diggs and his return to Buffalo, 10 targets for 146 yards. He went off against the Buffalo Bills, got his redemption. This was his redemption game. I knew he was going to have a great game. I was hoping he scores a touchdown, but he almost got one. But as long as he had a great game, that's all that matters. And for Buffalo, though, they played a pretty great game, though, offensively and defensively, though. But it just wasn't enough to get the win against the New England Patriots. It was a gritty, close game, close battle, more of a defensive game. But the Patriots outplayed the Buffalo Bills. And Drake May outplayed Josh Allen. And that's it. Patriots win 23-20. And last but not least, what a game last night in Jacksonville with the Jacksonville Jaguars defeating the Kansas City Chiefs 31-28. Let's talk about it. Man, it's time to start talking about these Jacksonville Jaguars, bro. This team, I'm calling it right now. I said this after week 3 or week 4. Hear me out. I'm marking this right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars will win the AFC South this year. Okay? And they could potentially go to the AFC Championship game too because their offense is underrated. They have an underrated defense. Liam Cohen is doing a great job as a coach in Jacksonville right now. So, and Trevor Lawrence is playing great too. So they got a great coach, great coordinators, great quarterback, he has great weapons. Travis Hunter is doing his thing in Jacksonville. The defense is great. Hey, I like what the Jaguars are doing. I'm starting believing in these Jacksonville Jaguars. All right. I picked them to win 8 games, but they might win 12. All right. As of right now, I'm going to say they win 11 games. All right. But maybe 12 or 13 because, man, that team is legit. I think this team is contenders. Okay. Trevor Lawrence, great game on his birthday. Happy belated birthday to Trevor Lawrence. He played great on his birthday. 18 for 25 for completion attempts. Threw for 221 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. 2 rushing touchdowns. And the second rushing touchdown was for the win. First and goal, Trevor Lawrence stumbles on his own offensive lineman. He looking for the ball. He gets back up, thinking he's about to get sacked. No, he runs it in for the touchdown, and the Jaguars take the lead. That play was amazing. I don't know how he got that in, but that was the play of the game, bro. The Chiefs played a great game, but they were up 14-0 and then blew it. All right. Mahomes, 29 for 41 for completion attempts, threw for 318 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. All right. Mahomes also had a rushing touchdown, including Kareem Hunt, ran for 49 yards and 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce with a touchdown, 7 receptions for 61 yards and 1 touchdown. Travis Kelce is starting to be back, guys. He's starting to play it like himself again. But the Chiefs are beating themselves. Okay? Is it time to start panicking for the Kansas City Chiefs? Yes, it is. They are 2-3, third in the AFC West, and their schedule does not get much tougher than it is. This week coming up, they got the Detroit Lions. I'm going to go over the next 4 games before the bye week. They got the Lions, the Raiders, the Commanders, and then the Bills. So I'm going to go ahead and predict those games for y'all real quick. As of now, the Chiefs are 2-3. They play against the Lions. I got y'all losing. I got them losing that game. Chiefs, y'all are going to lose against the Lions. That's 2-4. You will beat the Raiders. That's 3-4. You're going to beat the Commanders. That's 4-4. And then you're going to lose to the Bills. So y'all will be 4-5 heading until the bye week. All right. So I'm going to lie. If y'all lose to the Lions and the Raiders back-to-back games, something has to be going on in Kansas City. All right. But this team is still going to be all right, though. As long as you got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid on the team, they're great. Okay. I'm not going to count out the Kansas City Chiefs. All right. I'm never going to count on Patrick Mahomes. I think they can still win the division, but as of right now, the Broncos are playing great. The Chargers, they're on a 2-game losing streak after starting off 3-0, but they'll be competitive in that division, though. But keep in mind, though, they are 3-0 in that division and in the conference. And also, the Raiders suck. Okay? So I believe that the Raiders are, the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, I still believe in the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC West because the Raiders suck and the Chargers or Broncos are fighting. All right, so if they lose to the Lions, then I'll start panicking. But as of right now, this team should not be 2-3. They are beating themselves. Yes, I understand they had injuries left and right, but this team should not be 2-3. Let's just be honest. This team should have at least 4 wins. But that's it, though. That's all I got to say, though. This was a great game last night. The Chiefs played great. The Jaguars played great. Came back from 14-0. I called this game. I said the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to win, and they won the game. What a comeback and what a win for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And shout out to Trevor Lawrence for getting a win on his birthday. Jags win 31-28 and now 4-1 of the season. And last but not least, I'm here to give y'all my Week 6 NFL predictions. And I'm going to also post my predictions video as well, too. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. All right. Week 6 predictions. Here we go. Starting off with the Thursday Night Football game. We got the Philadelphia Eagles taking the New York Giants. Eagles looking to bounce back against a rough loss to the Broncos, and the Giants are looking to bounce back against a rough loss to the Saints. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I won't be shocked if the Giants win this game. All right. So if you're the Eagles, do not underestimate the New York Giants. Okay. So don't underestimate New York. All right. But I am taking the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game. And now the Sunday games, we got another London game. We got the Denver Broncos taking on the New York Jets in London. Give me the Broncos over the Jets. There should be no excuse why the Broncos lose this game. All right. The Jets suck. Rams, Ravens. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams. The Ravens are banged up on injuries. Rams had a mini bye week, so they're going to bounce back. So I got the Rams beating the Ravens. Cardinals, Colts. Give me the Colts over the Cardinals. I think it's going to be a close, competitive game, but I think the Colts are the better team, and Daniel Jones is going to outperform Kyler Murray. Chargers, Dolphins. Give me the Chargers over the Dolphins. Ain't nothing much to say. Miami is trash. Patriots, Saints. Give me the Patriots over the Saints, but the Saints going to find a way to keep it competitive, though. All right. Cowboys, Panthers. I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys. This could be a shootout. I'm glad Carolina could somehow win this game, but I'm still taking the Dallas Cowboys. But I got to see how this defense performs against Carolina. So I'm taking the Cowboys. Seahawks, Jaguars. Seahawks looking to bounce back against a rough loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are heading to Jacksonville to take on the red-hot Jaguars. Now, hear me out here. I want to pick the Seahawks. I want to pick the Jags. It's 50-50 for me, but give me the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Seattle Seahawks in a very good close game. All right. Next up, we got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me the Steelers over the Browns. Give me the Raiders over the Titans. I don't care who wins that game. Both of these teams suck. All right. Give me the Packers over the Bengals. I doubt Joe Flacco will start, but there should be no reason why the Packers lose this game. You're coming off a loss to the Browns, a tie to the Cowboys, and you're coming off a bye week too. So Packers, there should be no excuse on why you don't win this game. Sunday Night Football. Not Sunday Night Football. Sorry about that. We got another 4 o'clock game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And hear me out. I want to pick the 49ers so bad. I'm rooting for them too, but I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah, I know this doesn't feel right to me, but man, the Buccaneers have just been finding ways to win games, and every game they won by has been by 3 points or less. So give me the Buccaneers over the 49ers. Sunday Night Football, great game. Here's a fact, fun fact. Jared Goff has never lost to Patrick Mahomes in his career. He's 2-0. Will he keep that streak up? Will he stay undefeated against Patrick Mahomes? Yes, he will. Give me the Detroit Lions over the Kansas City Chiefs. Potential Super Bowl preview, maybe, but this is going to be a great game. These two teams faced off each other 2 years ago on opening night, but it was a great game. Lions got the job done. So the Lions, I think they're going to get the job done. They're one of the hottest teams in the National Football League. So give me the Lions over the Chiefs. Monday Night Football, we got a doubleheader. Buffalo Bills versus my Atlanta Falcons. We will be wearing our throwbacks this week. You know what I'm saying? Old school logo, red helmet, the black and white, old school jerseys, the pants. Man, I am excited for that game. We are coming off the bye week. The bye week is over. We got the Buffalo Bills. It's time to lock in. Hear me out. Buffalo is going to come into Mercedes Stadium with a chip on their shoulder. They know they should have beaten the Patriots last week, but the Atlanta Falcons came off the bye week. But if you know, you know. Y'all already know this. I'm rocking with my Atlanta Falcons to beat the Buffalo Bills at home in the ATL. I feel like we can win this game. Okay. And I might make a preview video on that as well. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. And then the last Monday night game, we got the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders. Rematch of last year. The Bears are going to walk in there with a chip on their shoulder. They know they should have beaten Washington last year. They lost on that Hail Mary. Give me the Washington Commanders to win at home, but I won't be surprised if the Bears win this game. Okay? The Bears could win this game, but I'm taking the Commanders at home to beat the Bears. But it will be so hilarious if the Bears win off of a Hail Mary. That will forget the whole thing from last year. But that's it, though. That's it for Week 6 NFL predictions. I'm going to go over my predictions again and post the video. Eagles, Giants, Eagles. Broncos, Jets, Broncos. Rams, Ravens, Rams. Cardinals, Colts, Colts. Chargers, Dolphins, Chargers. Patriots, Saints, Patriots. 49ers, Bucks, Bucks. Lions, Chiefs, Lions. Bears, Commanders, Washington. Cowboys, Panthers, Cowboys. Seahawks, Jags, Jaguars. Browns, Steelers, Steelers. Titans, Raiders, Raiders. Bengals, Packers, Packers. Bills, Falcons, Atlanta Falcons. All right, and that's it for my Week 6 NFL predictions. And that concludes today's show of the Nard Report. Episode 45 is a wrap. It's in the books. Thank y'all for everybody that joined. I appreciate all the love and support y'all have given me on all of my social media platforms here on the YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And don't forget, if you are new to the YouTube, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and share the podcast as well, too. Share the Nard Report. All right, it's a pleasure. All right, and don't forget to follow me on both of my social media platforms at @D_Nard_report. Have a good rest of your day. Nard out, and I'll see you on my next episode.